IVM.
$100. That's all it takes to begin your journey with Bitcoin and Ethereum. No, really. With CoinSwitch, you can start investing in over 100 cryptocurrencies with just 100 rupees. On top of that, there are zero charges for deposits and withdrawals, so you can trade, buy, sell, however and whenever you want. All of this, plus their extremely intuitive interface, makes CoinSwitch the perfect app for beginners in the crypto space. But don't take my word for it. Just download CoinSwitch for free and try it out for yourself. If you'd like more information on cryptocurrencies, tune into A Show About Crypto with me, Rohan Joshi, my new adventure on IVM podcasts. CoinSwitch, kuch to badlega.
We all want choices. The more, the better. Or so we think. Because we all also get overwhelmed with all the options. We struggle to stay in control. But in today's episode, I'm going to share a big truth with you. It's not going to be an easy one. And you may not like me very much for it either. Hi, I'm Chetna, your favorite positive action coach. And this is Say No to Drama. Well, here's the thing. We all try to stay in control of everything that is happening in our life. Why? Because we want everything to pan out exactly as we are imagining, and we don't want even a single piece to be out of place. And why is that? So that we can avoid any pain, any fear, any discomfort. I mean, we don't want to experience any struggle, but that's not what we tell ourselves. What we tell ourselves is that if I'm in control of everything and everything pans out exactly as I'm imagining and the outcome is exactly as I see it, then there can be no failure. So all of this control, all of this stress is to just not experience any failure, is to not let anybody else down, is to not be considered as less than good enough by anybody else, is to be considered as awesome and a complete success by everyone else. A lot of how we want things to pan out is about what others will think about us. But today, the truth that I want to share with you is that we don't have much of a choice. In everything that we try to do, everything that we want to achieve, every goal that we chase, every dream that we work towards, there will come a point where we will have only one choice: to surrender and let whatever is happening happen. Yes, we think that all our plans will pan out. We think that making plans are a great idea, and they are, because our monkey mind needs some kind of structure. But the mistake that we make is that we latch onto those plans and we hold them for dear life. We start taking ourselves a little too seriously. But as we all know, life has other plans on top of our plans. It's not that life does not want to give us what we want to experience, but the how may differ. And there will come a time, and the when will also differ. And so there will come that time when you will have no choice but to give in to whatever is happening, however it is happening, and go with the flow. There will be no choice but to improvise and adapt. And if you are wondering how does one improvise and adapt, then there is an episode that I have recorded called exactly that. It's called Improvise. So scroll down to when this used to be called Positively Unlimited and listen to that episode because it will help you. Also, here's the thing. Improvising is a much more useful skill and habit to develop than trying to stay in control of everything. Now, the reasons why we are forced to surrender, or the reasons why life wants us to surrender, is one, for us to accept and realize that not everything is in our control, and there are powers that may be higher than us, or powers that know a little bit more than us. Is this a religion class or a class on spirituality? Not really. It's just for us to understand that as humans, we don't have all the answers. We are all seeking answers, and no one person will know everything about whatever it is that they are trying to create or achieve. Information is available to us in small bits and pieces, and it is available to us through many different people in our life. So maybe this is life's way of making sure that we are always grounded and humble. Maybe it is life's way of making sure that we don't become too arrogant and big for our boots. Because irrespective of how well laid your plans are, you will come to a point where you will have to surrender and you will have to wait and watch, or you will have to go with the flow and do as whatever the situation in front of you demands. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because a couple of episodes before this one, I recorded one called Manifesting Goals. I hope you heard it. If you haven't, scroll down, listen to it. We're in the beginning of a new year. This is 2022 starting off just about now. It's a good thing for you to keep these different things in mind, different perspectives in mind, different truths in mind, so that this year is not the same as last or the one before that. Do yourself a favor and learn to surrender. Why? Because transition periods are a normal part of the process of creating something in your life. Transition phases where what your life is right now is moving into what your life can be after your desire comes true. It's a normal part of that process. It's a normal part of the flow, right? So for instance, if you are driving from, say, Bombay to Goa, and there comes a patch where there's literally nothing to do but to drive and enjoy the scenery. You cannot get to Goa any faster. You cannot drive any faster. You cannot take any shortcuts, and you just have to enjoy the drive. That's literally like what a transition period should feel like. However, because we want to stay in control of everything, because we are impatient, because we are fueled by fear more than we are fueled by our desires, we struggle during these phases. You know, I call a transition period the active limbo phase. Why do I call it active limbo? Because one, it feels like you're in a limbo, like you're stuck where nothing's moving and you're like, okay, what do I do? Everything just feels like I'm hanging in the middle. I can't go left, I can't go right, I can't choose this and I can't choose that. And when you feel this way about things, instead of being complacent and sitting down and saying, fine, I just resign, I'll give up, let this just go, nothing's ever going to go my way. Instead of going into that cribbity zone, you want to ground your energies and say, hold on. I've worked hard enough to come up to a certain point. And yes, this feels like a limbo and I don't have all the answers. But can I actively seek the answers patiently and persistently and know that it will be revealed to me as I keep looking for it? Can I continue to have constructive conversations with myself as well as people involved so that I can move forward at an easy pace? Now, let me give you another example. Say that you are planning to move to another country and you're getting your paperwork done. Now, you know that you're moving to another country. You have everything that you need for it. And the paperwork is in process. Now, the time that the paperwork takes is the time that it takes. You know the paperwork is going to go through for sure. So you going is a given. Now, in this scenario, you're in active limbo, which means that you're going to have to wait up to a certain point before you start packing up all your stuff because you're waiting for 100% confirmation. At the same time, you cannot just pack your bags and run to the place. At the same time, you can't book your tickets, but you can't also start anything new over here. So it's kind of an active limbo space, right? You've got to make your plans. You've got to make some backup plans. You've got to do some research. You keep yourself actively busy and involved in the process of moving. And then when the paperwork comes through, you step on it and you execute all the plans that were in your head about how you would pack up everything, and you get yourself to the airport and you head off. So now you understand what active limbo is, right? On this note, I'm going to remind you once again, the only option sometimes is to surrender, especially in transition phases. Don't try to control things. Don't try to speed it up. Don't try to rush through it. Don't give up or resign either. Hold on to faith, take deep breaths, ground your energies, and flow forward at the pace that life is setting for you. Sometimes everything is moving as planned. It's just that our plans were actually rushing things through. Our deadlines weren't appropriate. Our timelines weren't appropriate. So if you do one thing for yourself in 2022, it is to learn to surrender. Understand the concept of active limbo and learn to practice it. On this note, I'm going to head off, but the previous episodes that I have mentioned in this one are available on the IVM Podcast app and website. And you can get in touch with us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle is IVM Podcast. Also, you can get in touch with me on Instagram. My handle is Positivity Angel. DM me to book a session to help you learn to surrender.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. Khel Niti completes 200 episodes. Rajiv Mishra, Nikhil Chopra and Rajkumar Sharma discuss the final test match between India and South Africa. They also talk about whether or not Virat will return as captain. On Think Fast, Varun and Suchita dig into Apple's $3 trillion market cap and Bezos' Chirag Din uncle look for New Year's Eve. On Raw and Organic, Kunal talks to pole fitness trainer and flexibility coach Joanna Michelle. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam finds out how REITs are beneficial from Vinod Rohira. He's the CEO of Mindspace Business Park REIT. And on Filter Coffee, Karthik talks to sports journalist Pradeep Magazine about his new book, Not Just Cricket. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. We really do appreciate the word of mouth. Also, don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms that you're listening to us on, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is. And we are also on YouTube. On YouTube, you can check out our various channels on ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and CoinSwitch Kuber. Thank you for making this possible.
Are you looking for finance products and services that can enhance your personal finance experience? Are you looking for a space to talk about your financial product or service? And are you looking for a crisp talk show where the conversation is all about money? Well, your search ends here. Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta and I'm host of the Paisa Vaisa podcast, and I invite you for the conversation about your personal finance on each Monday on the IVM Podcast app or the website or on any podcast streaming platforms. See you folks.